Hey, what's up guys, Tony Dubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the Creative Sound Blaster X H5 headset. Now the headset can be found directly on Creative's website for £100, also on Amazon.co.uk for the same price, and also for $100 on Amazon USA, which is radically cheaper. But considering I'm a UK reviewer, I'll be reviewing it at the UK price. So without further ado, let's go into a little overview of the product, then I'll get into a recording quality test, and then we'll finish off with the sound quality subjective opinion. Now within the packaging, which is pretty big if you ask me, you'll find a warranty card, a manual, and you'll find a detachable microphone, a actual cable which is going to be needed to be used, which plugs into the headset directly. This cable also can directly plug into a mobile phone, as the little control pod over here basically mutes your microphone and adjusts the overall volume of your headset, and has a play pause button over here, which also can be used doubled up as using to take calls, which is always useful. Then the extension lead makes it compatible for desktops. So you've got the extension lead, which basically plugs into the cable I just showed you there, and then these jacks are microphone and line in. So that's always useful, but just do bear in mind it's not a USB input, and therefore you'll need, I would guess, a pretty good sound card over an onboard sound card in order to get at least decent recording quality. Now in terms of the headset itself, it is well designed and it looks really fantastic. Now if you look at it, you'll be able to see that it's got a nice soft pad over here, which is very much comfortable for long periods of usage. I have no problems of wearing glasses and using the headset at the same time. I'm actually very much comfortable wearing them at work for long periods. So the pads are a great addition. They're nice and soft as well, and they're very big in their diameter, so even with my massive ears, they do fit comfortably over the ear. They do isolate reasonably well and they don't leak that much music out, but there are certain ports over here which obviously needs, well, they're there to let the drivers breathe a little bit, so you might get a little bit of external noise leakage for people around you, but it's very minimal, and as far as I'm aware, no one's complained at work for me blazing out some tunes. So on the side you've got this adjuster which has got little dots in the inside. You've got right and left indicator which is in the inside, and then in terms of the headset themselves, on the left hand side you'll be able to see that you've got the jack which connects up for the mic, which is like a rectangular shaped version, and then you've got this one which is just the audio jack in order to get your line in, or should I say music, if you so wish, if you wish to connect it with your phone. At the top you've got a nice soft headband which is very much comfortable. I can wear this for long periods of time without any discomfort. I really like the overall quality of it as well. The stitching and everything is fantastic. And finally, in terms of its looks, it looks really nice. It's got a nice Blaster logo over here, but it doesn't look over the top, and it kind of makes you look kind of like a gamer, I would say, so that's always cool. And the construction of it's metal, and it does extend quite well, so it doesn't break that easily. So overall, the build quality of the headset is very good, and on top of that, the comfort is fantastic. So now let's get into a recording test. And now moving on to the recording quality of the H5 headset. So you're able to hear everything right now is coming straight from the H5 headset. In terms of my setup, I've got a mini USB sound card which I actually use for my ModMic 4.0. Therefore it's decent and it does the job in terms of recording quality. So I've got this same setup, it plugged in, the headset plugged into that USB sound card, and I must say, in comparison to the ModMic 4.0, in terms of a direct comparison, I felt that the H5 is not as good, not as clear in terms of its sound. It feels a little bit muffled and a little bit subdued. In terms of its recording capabilities, in terms of its mids, highs and lows, I felt that it's almost like it's got a lot of recessed mids, which really doesn't help the vocals of any person speaking. So it's not something I would really recommend if you're really if you are recording a lot of audio. It's something I would just use casually when you're gaming, or for example if you're on a Skype call just for a short time. But if you're going to use it on a regular basis for more professional stuff, or if you want to really if it's something that you're interested in terms of recording quality, the H5 isn't something I would really go to. Now that aside, I should mention a few other things. Now the mute functionality has a loud pop, so I'm going to mute right now. and hopefully you were able to hear that. But in my audio test that I did before, there's a loud pop which goes on, which is not desirable for your listeners or for anyone that you're on a call with. And another thing I noticed is that you can remove this little filter, and when you remove this little filter, the sound quality increases a little bit and it becomes less muffled, which is obvious because of this fluffy sort of soft foam tip which goes on top of the mic. But what you will notice is that you'll get more popping sounds which occur. So now let's move back to the camera's audio quality, because in my opinion it's much better. And now finally, what is probably, I'd say, almost the most important part, apart from the recording quality, is its sound quality, the headset sound quality as a headphone as it is. So I told you can plug this in via a 3.5mm jack straight to your mobile, or through to any sort of source, for example your amplifier. And as I said, you've got a play pause button which works flawlessly on mobile, at least on Android, and it's a one button remote which allows you to control your music. Now the sound quality itself was average, I would say, for a headphone that's £100. Well, considering it's a headset, there's multiple functionalities there, but just looking as a headphone perspective, as in terms of like audiophile comparison, I would say the soundstage is a little bit closed, a bit like the recording. It feels a little bit subdued and doesn't have sort of expansive sound, which is not really going to be great for gamers, because gamers are going to be looking for an expansive sound as they can hear footsteps coming from all different sort of directions. Of course, there's software tweaks, we can go ahead, and there is software that's included, but the software is, well, in my opinion, not that great because it doesn't offer you that many functionalities. But other than that, moving into the lows, mids and highs, I felt the lows extended reasonably well, but were, well, quite audibly cut off, and the sub-bass region. The mid-bass had a decent slam, but it was very, very soft and very much controlled. So therefore, the mid-bass wasn't overpowering the mids, which is a good thing, but again, as it's aimed for more gamers, people who want to hear massive explosions are probably not going to hear them with this headset. Moving into the mids, I felt that they're actually quite nice. Their tonality and their just general sort of neutrality was actually quite surprising for a headphone or headset, which plays to its strength in terms of listening to all different types of sounds in a game. But as I said, gamers are probably going to prefer a more V-shaped sound signature, just because you want to hear the explosions and like the footsteps coming from the highs. Speaking of the highs, I felt that they extended reasonably well, but they were rolled off on the high end. But despite that, you do get a nice like sparkle sound to it, and therefore when it comes to listening to different footsteps in a game, or listening to EDM music or R&B or whatever it might be, or classical, then the highs were decent enough to provide you a good experience. As I said, the soundstage wasn't that impressive, but even then, you do get a good sound for a closed back headphone. Now, when I compared it to other headphones, for example, my Denon D2000, which are way above its league in terms of sound quality, there was a very much noticeable difference in terms of its the mids and lows reproduction, and more than anything, it's a soundstage. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this in terms of more importance for gamers, because again, it's more of a gaming headset rather than someone that's going to be listening to music purely, is that I felt that if you're going to be gaming on it, you might be missing a bit of overall environmental sound in comparison to getting an actual audiophile headphone and then attaching something like a mod mic on it. Not only will you get better recording quality, but you'll get overall better soundstage and imaging when it comes to positioning in a game. I like how I'm doing this for no reason, but anyway. So that's something that you should note for that. But again, I do use these headphones as a headphones, not as a headset, at work all the time, and I listen to a lot of EDM music, and for that, it's actually quite good. It's got a quite fast pace to it, and therefore provides a decent experience. So overall, guys, I think the H5 is a bit of a hit and miss. It's a decent headset which is nice designed. Its price is okay. It's quite affordable, £100 for it in terms of like what it offers. But its recording quality is a little bit of a letdown, considering it is a headset. I would expect better recording quality. And its sound quality is, I would say, average given its price, but it could be a lot better considering it's creative. So a little bit of a mixed bag for me. I can't really say I recommend it, but that said, I can't really say it's a bad headphone, because or else I wouldn't be using it on a daily basis at work. it's really up to you to decide, you to judge in terms of recording quality and what I said about the sound quality. And more than anything, do check out my written review on the link in the description below. It gives you a more full, in-depth written analysis of the sound quality, which might give you a better inkling of what's good or what's bad about it. Alright guys, I've been totally dubbed. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you give it a like, comment and subscribe for my pretty damn face. I know, it's ugly, don't worry. And favourite and share, all that good stuff. Alright guys, I've been totally dubbed, and there's been a review for the Creative Sound Blaster X H5, that's it, headset. Alright guys, totally dubbed out, bye bye.